what advice would you give to the traders who are struggling and are looking to be profitable in the market, but just not being where they want to be? What advice would you give them? And what have you learned over the years from working at a professional level, managing money and making money in the markets that you think a lot of retail traders might be missing?
Yeah, listen, no matter how successful you are, there are ways to improve, right? I talk to traders every day, and we're always doing something. Like now, our new thing that we discovered is that we're not like organizing our trades enough, combining different brokerage accounts so that we can analyze. Everything's kind of a little bit too separate, and it's not just me. I'm old school. I use a spreadsheet. There's probably a better way to do that, right? So we're working on that internally. For example, right? That's just a recent example this week. So just keep that in mind. So if you're like young or just starting and like that's continuing to improve and finding ways to get better is never going to change. And if it does, you're not going to make it. Always working on it. So I would say, go and see, what the biggest mistakes were that you made in the year. Did you not cut your loss fast enough? Right? Were you not quick enough to the trigger and you took you had a huge drawdown when that could have been, for the most part, that's probably the biggest mistake investors make is letting the drawdowns come too much and not, pulling the plug quicker. So having a plan and following that plan where it keeps you disciplined and you stay disciplined and execute accordingly, or whether that be using stop losses or whether that be using a derivative strategy where your risk is minimal and you accept that risk, right? When you enter into that situation, there are ways to manage risk through derivatives. There's ways to manage risk through position sizing, right? You like that biotech, you don't have to put your whole portfolio in this $2 biotech stock. But if you want to speculate on something like that, you could put a portion of your portfolio in that. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, right? So, think about it like that. And then, a lot of people, have a hard time. And by the way, these are common traits: not cutting your losses fast enough, not letting your winners run long enough. Also a problem. Also something that we're working on internally amongst our team. For example, one rule that we've been following for years is when our call options double in the options trades, when our call options double, we take half off the table immediately. And now we let the rest go with house money, really let it run, get closer to expiration. We took half off the table. It's all house money, all those things. I really like that strategy. But internally, we've been battling with all of us that are traders, talking about how versus just locking that in on a double, maybe raising stops so that we can capture more of a profit. And that's something that we've been working on amongst us internally. So we're working on that too, right? The cut your losses and let your winners run is like easy to say, but it's harder to do. So I feel like every investor ever is trying to do both of those things always. No? Right? So I'm just giving you a couple of literally real life in real time examples of us improving on some of these things. Maybe widening your universe, maybe incorporating more top down so you get, things are more into, you can put things into context better with what's happening around the world, taking the time to look at the internals of the market and not just a percentage of stocks above their 50-day and a percentage of stocks above their 137-day moving average or whatever. Like, you can quantify that stuff, and we do, but there's a lot more value in actually looking underneath the surface at, hey, all the stocks in this sector are going up, the rest of the market is falling, what's happening here, that sort of thing, putting in the work. And if you don't want to do that work, find somebody who does and get their notes. Not a lot of people want to do that work, right? But find somebody who does. See what they tell you.